Hi YouTube, this is Charlie from Boxing Focus, my little channel on YouTube, sporting nice little black eyes from sparring. Obviously I don't have a good enough head movement, keep my left hand too low, but moving on from that, I just wanted to post a few thoughts on Dereck Chisora versus Malik Scott. So just finished watching Malik Scott's previous fight against Glazkov. Not really impressed, I'll be honest. The fight was scored a draw, which was a joke, obviously fairly corrupt, because it wasn't close to a draw. Glazkov was ineffective. That's an understatement. Scott pretty much dominated the fight with his jab. It was a pretty dour affair. I wouldn't really say that Scott won over fans with that performance. The guy's got next to no power. 12 knockouts in 36 fights, mostly against journeymen. It's very uninspiring. Whenever he did load up versus Glazkov, it was obvious they were wide winging punches and generally missed. He was fairly easily backed up. His movement on his feet is not great, even though after the bout he declared he had the feet of Muhammad Ali, which was a great boast, but very wide of the mark. The problem for Glazkov was every time he backed Scott up, he just looked at him and then stepped backwards. I mean, if you're the come forward fighter, that's not what you do when you've got your opponent backed into a corner. Anyway, the thing for Scott is Chisora is not going to do that. When Chisora backs him into a corner, Chisora is going to start pounding. And Chisora, judging from the open workout, which is you can see on Box Nation's YouTube channel, looks very strong. I mean, he looks in very good condition indeed. He represents a significant step up for Malik Scott, who turned pro in 2000. 8 years fighting nothing but journeyman. Reportedly has a bicep injury, comes back in 2012. Seems to be trying to do something with his career this time. Seems to be taking on more dangerous opponents. But he's never been in with anybody on the level of Dereck Chisora. And Chisora's been in with a lot of good fighters now. He's been in with people bigger than him, stronger than him. He's been in with people faster than him, albeit David Haye did knock him out. A moment of YouTube infamy for me, since I posted a video saying 10 reasons Haye couldn't knock Chisora out, but Haye was just too fast for him. I do think Chisora actually tired a little bit in that fight. He started really reaching with his punches. I think he was feeling the pace as much as Haye was, in retrospect, and Haye took advantage. Very, very impressive stoppage. Aside from that, moving on from that, I don't think Malik Scott has that kind of power, and also he doesn't put his punches together like Haye does. So I don't think there's really any chance for seeing something like that. If you watch the Glazkov fight, the stuff coming from Scott's almost all single punches. It just happens to be busier, and Chisora's got a fairly sound defense when he doesn't get sloppy. When he's coming forward, he'll pick that off with his guard. He'll get close and then he'll just start unloading. On the flip side, Chisora is not exactly the most powerful puncher himself. He relies more on wearing an opponent down. And Scott does seem to come in very good shape, so there's a pretty decent chance that you'll see this go the distance. If it does prove to be that Chisora is another level up from Scott, you may get a late stoppage. You may feel the pace and tire, but he looks like he takes his training very seriously. So Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a great fight, and I think a lot of it does depend on which Del Boy turns up. Look at Del Boy's last fight. I can't remember who it was against, but it was very, very poor viewing. Chisora didn't really seem bothered. I think he just wanted to be getting some rounds in, perhaps build his confidence back up after being knocked out. He didn't really do much, and then when he did something, it was like the 9th round, he stopped the guy. So I think if he comes into this fight with bad intentions, he can get the job done. But we have seen Chisora step into the ring several times and just be completely uninterested. And I don't think Scott's the kind of dangerous opponent that's going to bring out the best in Chisora. So I'm not expecting fireworks. I'm expecting a lot of fairly close rounds. I think Chisora will prove just too much and take it down the stretch, or possibly get a late stoppage. But I do think that Chisora's the bigger factor in the fight. Scott he isn't strong enough, and he doesn't seem to be able to put his punches together well enough, or move well enough to present the kind of factors needed to really dictate the fight. I think if he's dictating the fight, it will be because Chisora's just not pushing it. So those are my thoughts. If you beg to differ, I appreciate the comments and be happy to give feedback. This is Charlie, Boxing Focus.